Release what's holding you back now. Here's how. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day, I know you don't care about the day, but I do, 224 of our Supersize You annual challenge. And some of us care about the day because we're doing the challenge and we're holding ourselves accountable. Well, today we're going to talk about a couple of things. Of course, we're going to talk about the P in our SOAP framework because we are picking an area of spirituality, focusing on spirituality all this month. What's the spiritual essence of us? What is our link to some higher power, something outside of us that influences us to be a better version of ourselves every single day? And for me, it's a lot of things. But today, before we hop into how do we release what's holding us back, because there's something holding all of us back in some area or aspect of our life, and there's a really cool prayer, a Hawaiian prayer or tool you probably or may not have heard of. I don't think I heard about it until I was like 55 years old or something. I just learned about it recently. It might have been sooner than that. I think I learned it from Joe Vitale first. And that probably would have been a long time ago now. All right, so let's talk about the P in our SOAP framework. What does the P stand for? It stands for progress. How do I know I'm making progress toward improving my spirituality? How do I know I'm getting more connected to a higher power? How am I going to measure that? That's what our assignment is today. That's what we're going to decide, and share in the comments below if you so choose. How am I going to measure if I'm going from where I am to where I want to be? And the thing I picked is both business and personal. I want to add a spiritual component to my Supersize Your Business school. And how do I go about doing that? How do I know now with respect to this specifically? How will I know I've done that or I've made progress? I guess it's going to be pretty easy to measure. Either I will have a component of it built in, I'll have something in the classroom or something in the in terms of the essence and the spirit of our business. I've been thinking about this for a while. Our motto, what we stand for, our overarching purpose, mission, vision, all of that shared, and our code of conduct shared on that community. That is how I will know. When that's done, then I've gone from here to there. Now then, it's a matter of incorporating it and building it into the culture of the school. And that will take ongoing efforts, and I'll have to measure the progress against those. So today, just decide for whatever area of spirituality you are wanting to go from where you are to where you want to be. How are you going to measure? How do you know you're making progress toward that? So that's the first part of our daily challenge. And the second part is all about forgiveness. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was younger, I had a hard time forgiving people. And most of all, I've had a hard time throughout my life forgiving myself. You know, I think some of us are our own worst critics. We will beat ourselves up like no one else on the planet would. And that's something that we need to forgive ourselves for and release and let go of. And there's different ways we can do that. But one of the most profound and surprisingly profound ways I have found to do that. Why do we want to do that? A couple reasons. Number one, if we don't forgive other people and let that go, it festers and eats away at us. It's like a poison. It's like, holding grudges is like literally poisoning ourselves every day. And guess what? The other person, the person that hurt you or harmed you in some way, probably isn't even thinking about it anymore. They probably moved on to harm somebody else at this point. Or they just didn't even know it. They didn't realize that they were an a-hole at the time, right? And they did something to negatively impact you. Some people, I think, are just plain evil. And do we cross paths with them? Yes. But do we have to let it eat away at us for the rest of our life? No. How do we go about doing that? Well, there's a Hawaiian prayer, or whatever you want to call it, process called hooponopono. And Opono, I'm going to have to look it up and spell it. Where did I write it? H-O apostrophe O-P-O-N-O, O-P-O-N-O, Opono. So it's a lot of O's and a lot of P's. Anyway, it's a great prayer, and it has 4 steps. You become present and you think about the situation or the person or the event that you want to forgive. And I would say the first person to do this on is to forgive yourself for all the mistakes of being human that we've ever made in our life, and use this prayer on yourself. And the first phrase is, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, man, I made that mistake. I'm sorry I said that. I'm sorry I thought that. I'm sorry I felt that. Please forgive me is the second statement. We think about that. Thank you. And then I love you. And it's amazing that those four phrases, look, they give me goosebumps. Just doing that about anything or anyone or any situation that you find yourself thinking about negatively. And by negatively, I mean any stress, any illness, any broken relationship, any past drama or trauma or harm that somebody has done to you intentionally or unintentionally. We need to forgive and let that go and release that. Otherwise, guess what? It gets stored somewhere in our body, and it waits for another time in the future to show up. It usually shows up and rears its ugly head at the worst possible time or in the worst possible situation. So do we want that to happen? Do we want those little negative surprises or those negative bursts of energy or those illnesses? And I will strongly recommend, if you are feeling any physical symptoms, you do this. I'm doing this today on my right shoulder. For some reason, started yesterday, my right shoulder has just got a little crick in it. And that tells me that I'm holding on to something and it's showing up as pain in my body and I need to deal with it. Nobody else can deal with it for me. I can't go to the doctor and say, doctor, what's wrong with me? Because they only know what we tell them, right? Our experts only know what we tell them. So if we don't give them all the information, because a lot of times we're not even aware of it, guess what? They are not going to be able to do anything but prescribe something that will just band-aid or mask the trouble that we're having. It's amazing how incredibly powerful we are to either heal or harm ourselves. And so we need to remember that and act accordingly. So what's our assignment today? I'm going to challenge you to look up a graphic, just Google it, Ho-oponopono, and then so you don't have to always remember, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. If you can remember that and have that in your toolbox, I say do it because it's such a powerful thing to have. I have a friend who went to Hawaii recently, and she had a profound experience and awakening using this prayer to forgive everyone and everything in her life. And since then, she has just blossomed. Her business is just exploding, and everything that was holding her back before, she's let go of all that. And it's like she's a totally different person in a very positive, very attractive and magnetic way, which is showing up in all different areas and aspects of her life. Don't we all deserve that? Don't we all want that? I will say for us all a resounding yes. So today, progress, how are you going to measure it? How are you going to know? And Ho-oponopono. Do it one time. Just do it. But if you look it up, there's amazing graphics. I was going to attach a graphic and I'm like, you know what? Everybody's attracted to something different. Go pick your own, print it out, and hang it somewhere that you're going to see it when you need to forgive yourself or someone else. All right. Any questions about this? Hit me up and ask. Otherwise, have an awesome week. Just put done in the comments below when you've actually done that so that you can hold yourself accountable and I can cheer you on. All right. Have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.